Welcome to Hochoka Podcast.
My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, my pleas I bring. Land where our fathers died, whose offspring are denied, the franchise given wide, hark while I sing. This stirring takeoff on Samuel Francis Smith's My Country, 'Tis of Thee begins our conversation on the final 2 decades of the life of Zikala Shah. Hello, Mataki Yepi, and welcome to Hochoka here at the center of St. Joseph's Indian Schools campus. I'm Scott Wooster, today's Hochoka host, and I'm glad you've joined us for our part 2 of a 2-part series about Zikala Shah. Rejoining us today is alum Larry Jandrew. So welcome again. Good to have you here again.
Good to be here.
We packed a lot into the first session, and we left off with the Sundance Opera. Zikala Shah was living in Utah at the time with her husband and working with the Ute tribe, had written this opera, could ride off into the sunset with everything that she's done in her life up to that point. But she doesn't. What happens then?
Well, one of the things that she wrote an article called I Am Pagan.
Okay.
And one of the things I picked up on that was, and I think there's been historians and authors that have taken that up, sometimes in a negative way. Mm-hmm. And my interpretation of it, and having the appreciation for the outdoors, I do outdoor photography, and I get a sense of spiritualism when I'm out there listening to nature and everything like that. And I think that was a big emphasis of what she was trying to put out there to whoever would listen. But different people would pick up different connotations and or their theory of why she said that. And yet, in her time, living on the plains, and their entertainment basically was the sky, the sun going down, the moon coming up, the animals, the nature, running the water, making sounds on the river. All of that, as I go out and take pictures, I experience a lot of that and the solitude that you get from it. Mm-hmm. So I really think that she had really a genuine connection, and not so much that she was pagan. She definitely believed in the Great Spirit. Mm-hmm. So with that, then she goes out to Washington, and she gets very serious about the causes that she's out there to advocate, which number one was women's right to vote. And the thing I feel proud of her about is that she was out there for all women of nationalities and minorities, and that was more important for her at the time. And after that time, then and that was in 1924, she was able to go back to the groups in Washington, the women's groups who were women of politicians in Washington at that time, and advocate to them for our people to become United States citizens. And so I feel that she had so much prominence nationally for women's right to vote, but also for our Native people to become United States citizens.
Mm-hmm. And two things strike me about that, and one is that she was fighting for the disenfranchised, the marginalized people, no matter what, whoever they were. That was a big cause of hers. But the second thing is it's pretty amazing that she could pull people together in that way for causes, because it sounds like she was able to influence a lot of people, and she did it for one cause and then was able to do it for the next. So she must have had a great deal of influence over some of the other people in those causes.
I think she was very opportunistic. Uh-huh. She was educated by that time. She knew how to maneuver, and she had the wherewithal to say, you know what, if I can help there and help them, then maybe later on they can come and help me and help with my causes too.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I think that had a lot of influence on her demeanor to other people that at the time might judge Native Americans as being illiterates and people that didn't really have the wherewithal in the world to stand up for themselves. And she wouldn't tolerate that.
Right.
She represented our people.
I keep thinking, as we're talking, I keep thinking back to the importance of the times in there were such emotional times. There's such important times in our history, so fraught with meaning. So you've got the 1890 Wounded Knee stuff going on as she's doing her formative years kind of thing, growing into who she's going to become. At the time that this is all happening with voting and citizenship, it's just after World War I, and there were some interesting things about World War I with indigenous people then. Can you talk about that?
Yes, I think that and that was one of her primary causes that she was pushing, both for women's rights and for the Indian Citizenship Act, was that our native troops were dying in foreign countries. Mm-hmm. But yet the ones that were coming back were still somewhat second-class citizens because they were wards of the government. Mm-hmm. So in view of that, even in the sense of voting, there were laws out there at that time that eliminated even some of our veterans from voting, even after the Voting Act was passed. Mm-hmm. So, but she used it at the right times to stress the importance. And I think one of the things I've read about quite a bit is wardship compared to citizenship. And that was one thing that she had brought out about if you're wards of the government, you're truly not citizens
right.
of the United States. And so she had very profound knowledge of these things, is not to say, oh, we can vote, and that's such a great, right.
Right.
And yet, as much as it affects Native Americans, that wasn't truly the case either.
Right, right. And for a Native American man to go to France and fight at Belleau Wood and then come back to the country and not be a citizen in this own country. And I've heard that 25% of Native American men of fighting age went and fought in World War I, and it was more than any other ethnic group or group of people at that time. Yep. It's pretty amazing to not come back and have citizenship. And she didn't stop there, right? So you could, again, I've said it before, but you could have those two acts that you're part of. I mean, it wasn't her totally, but it was a collective work of people to get those two things passed. She still does more after that. I kind of find that if there was an injustice, kind of a Steinbeck sort of thing, there I will be. I'm going to go fight for this cause. I also heard she was down in Oklahoma, and people that have been watching movies or reading books have seen Killers of the Flower Moon. Probably no surprise that she was down there.
Yes, and I've actually have some documents that I've been able to obtain that were sent to me from archives, and they relate to her actual conversations and interactions with Oklahoma natives to the point of her going through and actually kind of at times she was staying down there and interacting with these people mm-hmm. and getting a real sense of what they were going through. Mm-hmm. And the more she learned, the more she was able to bring out to the legislature in Oklahoma. And she had put her heart and soul into it, mm-hmm. as if that was as important as the right to vote or Native American citizenship. and that was a major achievement to her. I mean, but in her way of thinking, I believe that she didn't stop and wait for accolades to come her way.
Yeah.
She kept on going, and she kept on fighting for them people.
Exactly, and I think it has to be because of her clout and credibility in Washington that she could be effective in a situation like that where she was down there too. You said off air, you mentioned, I don't want to steal it from you, but there was a mention about the jalopy. Can you say that again?
Yeah, one time they said when she went down to Oklahoma, she put on 10,000 miles in 1 year on a jalopy.
Yeah.
And that's incredible. I mean, it's almost unfathomable.
Yeah, and so unfathomable that I said to you, is that literal or you figurative? And you said it's literal. She put the work in.
She was also noted for her opposition to the Dawes Act, which would fractionate, and land was put into allotments. And part of the issue down in Oklahoma was part of that, and that gave her a lot of knowledge of how the United States government was obtaining land with oil on it, and she was vehemently against the Dawes Act. And to this day, we have fractionated lands that are, I have some land, not so much land, I have mineral rights, and my number is .00007. There's just there's no way any single owner can own any of that, or the mineral rights.
Right.
But those are the things that she had seen that many years before us, and some of these things have not changed to this day.
Yeah.
But she tirelessly worked on all of these legislative things that a lot of people were unaware of. In fact, the average American probably didn't know what she knew. So she was able to, I believe, use her experience and knowledge and everything to leverage people in Washington to at least look our way, to the Native Americans, and that somebody was keeping track at the end of the day of what was going on with Native rights.
Yeah. So folks would have known her around the halls of the Capitol, possibly, and at that time, known who Zikala Shah was and knew what she meant and what she was championing at that time. What year did she die? She's living in the Depression, and when did she pass?
She passed away in 1938.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just before the World War II.
Exactly.
At what age?
She was 63.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I imagine that folks could be forgiven for kind of forgetting her impact for a while. There was a lot going on at that time, right? Trying to keep world peace and whatnot. And World War II.
In those years of the Depression, the war, and everything like that, she was very proactive in Red Cross and other humanitarian causes that supported our troops.
Okay. Yep.
And when they would come back.
Yep.
So there's a lot more that she did behind the scenes that has never been exposed too much and or appreciated.
Yeah. Yep.
And again, she wasn't one of them people that had to be out in front of everybody and pound it, I did this.
Yep.
She was, she knew what she did, and she kept on going.
Had the humility too. Yep. And we've come to the end of her life, and we've only scratched the surface here with a couple of sessions on Ho-Chokeh, but so much more that we could talk about. But why minting? Why did it come to this? Was she almost sort of rediscovered now for that?
I believe she was somewhat by. And to this day, I have not found out who might have been a sponsor to actually take it to the U.S. Mint, which that has to go through a commission process and everything like that. But I've been in contact with some people that know of some of the people that are on that committee. And I really haven't gotten any clarification on that.
Yeah.
But I believe that somebody picked up on the prominence of her for all people. And every cause that she was out there about was something that we need to relive, bring back, appreciate, and push on to our young people that they can do everything and anything they want. And we have much more resources than she did.
So we're talking about coins and minting coins, and I don't know all that much about that process, how that all works. I'm astounded that she has her coin, and I'm proud that she does. But I do think it's interesting, and I'm going to read this because I think it's important to know this, and I want to get it right. But since 2008, the United States Mint, they struck Code Talker medals for every tribe that used their native language in World War I or World War II to relay secret messages in the war. And it's extremely important. Most of the South Dakota tribes have those medals. And our viewers can go directly to the United States Mint website to find out more about that. But I would caution them, go straight to the U.S. Mint site rather than to a coin collection site. Get the accurate information. I'm guessing there's information about Zinkala Shah on there, though. I think what's significant about this is that and what's unique about Zinkala Shah and that coin is it's one of only 20 coins in the American Women Quarter Series that began in 2022, ends in 2025. There's 4 Indigenous women in the series. Wilma Mankiller, who's the first woman elected principal chief of the Cherokee Nation. Edith, and I don't want to get the name wrong, but Kanaka Ole, Indigenous Hawaiian composer and custodian of Native culture and traditions in Hawaii. Maria Tallchief, America's first prima ballerina, and Zinkala Shah, whose coin says, and I quote, writer, composer, educator, and political activist. Do those 4 words sum it up for you, or would you add anything else to that?
I would definitely add that she was a suffragist for all women as well as all Native Americans in the United States.
Yep. And I just want to say I've said it before, we've scratched the surface. There's so much that you can find out about her. There's a website for our viewers that you can go to at Native Hope. That website will be listed on your screen during this process. You'll see that up there. So there's so much more that can be learned. There's books. You've got books. We're just giving a thumbnail sketch of her. But through all this, I see why you are so proud of her. I can see the influence in her way of thinking on you, just in the way you approach people and the way you're trying to make the world a better place. And so I want to say that it's been an honor to hear about her, to learn more about her, and it's been an honor to have her relative come in and share this information. So thank you, Larry. You're welcome here anytime. Love the stories, and I love the way you present them. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Scott.
Absolutely.
I appreciate everything that the school has done for all of our kids from all reservations, and I believe that her spirit lives here too.
Absolutely.
In a good way to promote these young people to be much more than even we were in our day. So.
Absolutely. I think she's a great motivator. Thank you. And to our audience, thank you for joining us here at the center of St. Joseph's Indian School campus at Ho-Chokeh, where we talk about issues that are central to Native American education today. Until next time, stay centered.